All right, welcome to this week's edition of the Business Owners Mastermind Group. This is brought to you by the Lodi Chamber of Commerce and myself, John Pyron, the Business Doctor. All right, so before we get started, do you want to, since you're with the Chamber, Marina, do you want to share some things about the Chamber, get kind of some updates on what's going on with the Chamber right now, and before we get started?
Good morning, everyone. First and foremost, thank you, John, for hosting the first podcast. I know you and I have talked about this about a year ago, and what a perfect timing for you to share what's happening and what are the needs that we can help our Chamber member. As we all know, the Chamber is closed as of right now, but we are continuing to communicate with our members, and Elisa have sent some information via social media, our email connection, and we work at home by simply responding all the emails that we get, all the calls that we get. Just don't forget, we're gonna go through this crisis that we're facing right now, and we'll move forward, and we'll wake up for another morning for a better one.
Fantastic. Okay, let me mute you, and there we go. All right, so let's get started. So there are several of you on this call today that probably don't even know who I am. I have no idea, what to expect. And so I want to be very sensitive to that, because normally when I speak, I'll do either webinars or front of the room talks, and all over the place there's basically three questions. Number one, who is this guy? Number two, why should I listen to him? And number three, what's in it for me? Those are pretty fair questions. And so before we get started, I'm going to get some housekeeping items. Put your questions in the chat window. So as we're going through today's call, it'd be cool to just put your information in the chat window, and I'm going to be answering those questions as we go along. Another thing that I would highly recommend, so everybody can network together, is I would go and copy and paste your LinkedIn URL, your LinkedIn profile URL, or put your information in there as to, okay, what is it that you do? What is your business? What's your website? Put whatever it is in there that you feel like putting in there, so people know who you are and know how to get a hold of you. And so kind of a little bit about my background. I've been building companies since I was 20 years old. In fact, the very first business I started failed miserably because I absolutely hated sales. I was scared to death of sales. I was actually coming out of tech school and really just was scared to death of sales. And so, finally, about 1996, I decided, you know what, I wanted to succeed as a business owner, but if I never mastered the art of sales, I'm never going to get there. So hired a mentor, worked with a mentor, and learned how to sell, and went on to build 4 different IT managed service companies back to back. Largest one about $8.5 million. And the third one, which brings me as, okay, why should, what makes me an authority in this space is 2008, when the economy collapsed, right? When the stock market just took a dump. I looked at my business that I had that was a baby. It was only a year and a half old at the time. And I said, you know what? All my competitors are losing clients left and right, and they're going to go out of business. I'm going to have to do something different. And so I decided to do that, and I grew that company 63.9% while the economy was collapsing, and took a ton of market share away from my competitors. And so on today's call, I'm going to share with you, because we're kind of in the same boat. You can't go into this contraction that we're having with the same actions that you've been doing. And the other thing is, we're sheltered in place at home, which is way different than it was back in 2008. And so it's going to take some new ideas, some new strategies, some new ways of doing business in order to survive and thrive during this time. And so I'm going to go over some of those ideas today. And so what's in it for you is we're going to talk about kind of 4 agenda items that I put out is how to build your prospect database using the one secret weapon that we all have. And I'm going to go into that. We're going to talk about how to manage a team remotely for maximum productivity. I've got a friend of mine, also a client of mine out of Tennessee, that agreed to join us today, who can speak intelligently to remote worker type questions. And so it's Alan Reeves. So if you have any questions about technology or anything like that, if there's anybody else on the call that's a part of the Lodi Chamber that is owns a technology company, any of that stuff, put your information in the chat window. So that way, as we as business owners have questions about technology, we can ask you those questions. We're going to talk about how to identify the opportunities and how to adapt your business and take advantage of them right now. We're also going to talk about how to leverage the #1 business skill to not only survive during this challenging time, but also to thrive as well. And so with that said, those are hopefully the answer to those 3 questions. And I understand that we're all kind of in an emergency situation right now, right? I mean, we've never faced this. We've gone through contractions in the marketplace. We've gone through, market shares falling, business clients, we're losing clients, business models changing, but we've never been locked at home. We've never been told we can't go nowhere. And so there are basically 5 things actually that I want to go over and to help you really get through this and calm the panic that's going on right now, and give you some tools and some things today that you can take action on, that you can implement right away, that you can go out and have tremendous success in your business. Again, if you're just now joining the call, put your LinkedIn URL, your website in the chat window. Highly recommend, kind of one of the things I would recommend every single one of you do is click on everybody's LinkedIn profile there, go to their LinkedIn, it'll take you to their LinkedIn and hit connect and put a little note in there. Hey, you and I were on the Lodi Chamber Business Mastermind call. I'd love to add you to my network. This is a great opportunity to expand your network. And so there's basically 5 things that need to happen right now going into this situation. #1 is most people are panicking right now. And the one thing you can't do is panic. So you need to not panic right now. Instead, plan, okay? 2 things. #1, you need to plan what you're going to do, what your plan of attack is. I'm going to give you some ideas today. And #2, you need to prepare. So most of us are prepared now because we're about 2 weeks into this. We've already gone to the store. We've already shopped. Hopefully we got enough toilet paper. It's like I was telling my friend the other day, it's like, hey, if we run out of toilet paper, I've got a $1,000 plus washing machine in there, and I got a bunch of towels, and I got some scissors. Worst case scenario happens, I'm going to be good to go. And so, but the importance of getting prepared, get the food that you need, put it in the deep freeze, get all the things that you need to hunker down. You can count on this going on for another week and a half. The fact that we're in California is going to be different than the rest of the country. I honestly believe that Trump means what he says, and he's going to allow people to start getting back to work before Easter. However, you got states like California, New York, Illinois, where it's really up to the governors what they want to do. And so depends on what Gavin Newsom decides to do as to whether we will be allowed to get back to work. I know in Placer County, starting next Wednesday, they're going to allow businesses to reopen, but no more than 10 people can be in the business at one time. So it's based on county by county deal. So now that you've gotten prepared and you've got your home taken care of, it's going to free you up mentally to do what's next. And that is, you got to commit to expansion at this time. There's basically 4 degrees of action that people are going to take during this time. And I want to talk to you about the actions that you need to take in order to expand. So the first level of action is basically no action. It's, hey, I'm sheltered in place. I can't do anything, can't go anywhere. My clients are shut down. I'm just going to do nothing and watch TV and just accept the fact that this is the way it is. That's one degree of action. The next degree of action is retreat. And that's where you decide, you know what, things are going to fall apart. Everything's going to hell in the handbasket. The world's coming to an end. I need to cut it back on this. I need to cut back on this. I need to cancel this. I need to cancel that. And you go into this retreat mode. And basically, it's almost the same as quitting. Then you've got that third degree of action, which is, average, normal levels of action. What you were doing 2 weeks ago, you're like, you know what, I'm just going to continue to do what I've been doing. I'm sure we're going to get through it. And now I'm going to tell you flat out, that is probably the most dangerous place to be right now, given what's going on in the market. The fourth degree of action, what I want to really spend some time on today and give you some ideas on how to leverage this, is massive levels of action. Literally deciding, hey, I'm going to expand my business. I'm going to look for new ways of doing things and new opportunities that exist in the market right now, and I am going to expand my business. I am going to literally take a massive level of action. So what you got to do is you got to, number one, change your definition of what massive action is for you in your business right now. It's different for everybody. So when I look back a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and the levels of actions that I was taking, I was already taking a lot of action, but nowhere near the action I'm taking now. I've had to redefine what the levels of action that I'm going to take and what it is that I'm going to do right now in order to get through this. The other thing is you know what, you're basically, and we're all in this together. We're all in a whatever it takes environment right now. Let's be honest. The business as usual is not happening for most businesses right now. And if you decide, hey, I'm not going to take any action, or I'm going to retreat, or I'm going to go at this with a normal level of action, you're going to get toasted. You will get punished. I promise you that. You're going to have to make a decision that, hey, I am going to win during this time. I am going to figure it out. My business will thrive and survive during this time. And you commit first to making that happen. It starts here first. Here's a quote that I wrote down that I wanted to share with you. I thought was really cool. It's like, who you will be at the end of this will be determined by what you do and the levels of action that you take on a daily basis. Let me repeat that again. Who you will be at the end of this will be determined by what you do and the levels of action that you take on a daily basis. Now, that's good news because you have control of that. You literally, I hope you'll join me in this. I literally have taken the stance, you know what, I am going to be better and my business is going to be better coming out of this than it was when I went into it. It all starts right here. It starts with making that decision that you're going to win. Okay? So let me give you some things to do right now. Things that we can all do right now. We all are basically in business. Okay, if you're not in business and you're an employee, I want to re-educate you real quick. It's like Jay-Z said, I am not a businessman. I am a business man. Okay, and so the first thing that you got to decide is, number one, you're a business. Now, if you own a business, the thing I would do right now, and the thing I'm telling all my clients to do that are having success with this, is you need to reach out to every single client that you have. You need to touch them even more now than you were before. Even if you haven't talked to them in a while and you have one of those types of businesses like Alan has where you've got 500-600 clients, you need to reach out to every single client right now. Client retention has to be the number one priority in your business. Number one, reach out to your existing clients. Number two is I would reach out to every single past client that you've had. Reach out to every single one of them. Now's the time to actually get closer to your client. And you want to reach out to them and check in with them. How are they doing? How are things going in their business? What are the challenges they have? What are the problems that they have? And later on in our call here, I'm going to give you some actual step-by-step on what to do when you talk to them. But you need to decide, I am going to double, triple, quadruple my activity and take a massive level of action. I'm going to reach out to every single client that I have right now. So in order to do this consistently, in order to really go after this, you got to watch your attitude, right? You got to guard it like it's the most important prize possession that you have right now. One thing I experienced, I think it was last week. Went up to Reno and had a meeting with a client, and now they're becoming a client. And I came back the next day. I had a cough, and I came down with a cold, like a really bad cold. And so my wife forced me to stay in bed. And so I'm sitting there and I'm watching TV, and all this Corona stuff is going on, and we're all got to shelter in place, and everything's starting to get locked down. And after 3.5 days of that, my attitude sucked. It absolutely sucked. And I'm going, what's wrong with me? And then it hit me. It's like, you know what? You got to watch what goes in here. Okay. Do we really need to know any more about the coronavirus other than, hey, wash your hands? Okay. Stay away from people that are sick. If there's a shelter in place order, honor it. Do some social distancing. But I don't need to know that, another 1,000 people died today. I'm not trying to be insensitive here, but I'm just telling you, I don't need to know about all that, because that I find that it just does not help me. How did I grow my business during the economic crisis in 2008? I turned off the TV. I'm like, the stock market's going down. Every single day it was going down. And all that plugging into media did for me back then was drag me down and prevent me from growing and expanding my business. Trust me, you know enough people, they're going to give you some updates, okay? And so you got to guard your attitude. And one of the attitudes is if you're an employee and you're on this call or you're listening to the recording and you work for a company or you're a business owner and you have employees, the thing that you got to really focus on now is every single person in the business is in sales now. Every single person. If you're not going to help reach out to a customer or help grow relationships, you're not going to help the business. You need customers now. You need to expand more into the marketplace and making that decision, that attitude of, hey, I'm going to talk to every single person I know about the company I work for or the company I own, okay? So number one, everyone must be in sales. Next is in protecting your attitude is because we've all agreed, hey, we're going to take massive action. We're not going to take average action. We're not going to retreat. We're not going to do no action. I'm assuming that you're still on the call and you're still listening because you have decided I'm going to take a massive level of action right now and do something that is unprecedented. Okay. And so it all starts with don't stop your routine. Treat your day as if you're going to the office. Get up at a certain time every morning. Like I will never forget, it's last about a week and a half ago when they started announcing all this lockdown, I went to Allison. I'm like, hey, listen, man, I'm going to go to bed at 9. I'm going to get up at 5. Still working on the 5 a.m. thing, still hitting that snooze button. I'll be honest. Yeah, but I'm getting closer. But I decided, hey, I'm going to get up and shower, shave, get dressed. Now I already work from home, so this is where I've been working for the last 3 or 4 years. But I got to eat my own dog food because I'm having to help a lot of clients through this. But I'm telling you, don't stop your morning routine. Get up, take a shower, shave, put your makeup on, get dressed, get ready to go to work. Okay. Do some reading. Now's a great time to catch up on those books that you've been wanting to do. Meditate. Write out your goals every morning. Focus on the future, okay? We are going to get through this. We are. We will get through this. You will get through this. Who do you want to be on the other side? Now's the time to press in and personally grow yourself, okay? Get a workout in. Once you get your body moving, maybe your gym's closed. Well, jog around the block, do some push-ups, do some sit-ups, get your body in motion and moving, and get dressed and show up. Next is you need to guard your attitude, okay? What I've discovered is like, hey, there are certain friends, there are certain relatives I'm having to watch right now. I'm having to basically say, hey, you know what? I love you, I care about you, but I really don't want to hear any more about the coronavirus or all the bad stuff that's going on right now for you, okay? I really need to guard my attitude and focus on how, where I'm going and what I need to be doing. And so having that conversation and guarding your attitude and your associations, really, really critical. Another thing to help you with your attitude is all the things that you've been putting off, all the things that are around your house. You're sheltered in place. All the things that are around your house right now, projects that have been left undone. Now's the time to get them completed, okay? Can't go nowhere. Might as well get caught up on a lot of stuff right now, okay? And so the next thing, okay, so that's what we talked about, commit to. So first, don't panic. Plan and prepare. Number 2, commit to expansion. Decide what level of action you're going to take. Next, follow the money. Okay? Follow the money. Where is the money being spent right now? Okay? Because I got news for you. The money didn't disappear, right? It didn't just like vanish out of thin air. All it's done now is it's going in different channels. It's flowing in different directions right now. So what I told my clients to do is like, hey, you're selling insurance or you're selling computer engineering, or I got another client selling document management processes and systems. Got another client that's a civil engineer. I'm like, guess what? You now have an opportunity to expand your offerings, okay? And here's something I've been talking about for the last 2 years. Affiliate commissions are like really the next level of currency in your business. So as you're reaching out to your clients, ask them what the problems are. What are the pains that they're having? What are the challenges that they're having? Okay? You're going to get paid to solve a problem. People are still buying stuff. They're still purchasing stuff. They're still doing things to solve a problem or challenge. Okay? I got an opportunity yesterday. I'm looking at my database, and I switched and migrated to a different database last year. And, I didn't take enough time to learn the database. And now I'm having to double, triple, quadruple my activity. I'm like, this database sucks. And I'm like, I called up my assistant who's on here right now. I'm like, this sucks. Okay. I said, it's taken me 5, 10, 6, 7, 8 more clicks to just make one phone call. I ain't doing this, man. I said, so we're going to go back to the other database, okay? So went out and purchased something. So I bought something, okay? Well, guess what? People are buying things right now. When you're talking to your client, talk to them. What are the pains, the challenges that they have? If your product or service will solve their pain or challenge, great. Give them a reason to buy it. Now's the time to sharpen your sales skills. If they have a pain or problem or challenge that you don't have a product or service for, guess what you get to do right now? Go find somebody who can solve that problem. Okay? This is a huge idea. I know people that are taking advantage of this. I took advantage of this myself. It's like I got, prospects out there that have, this pain or this problem, and I'm solving them, and I'm getting paid to solve their problem, even though I don't have a product or service to solve it. I basically call up the person and say, hey, I've got a client that has this pain or problem, and I understand that you've got a product or service that'll solve this problem. Yeah. If I refer this client to you, I'll hand deliver this client to you on a silver platter. What are you going to compensate me for? Okay. So it's a great opportunity for you to expand your network of affiliate relationships. Okay. Huge concept. Okay. Next is ask the question, who's got my money? Okay. Who has got my money? And And so I'm going to get into how to build your database here in just a second, but you need to be asking that question. Who is buying my product or service right now? We're not just limited. The thing I love about this contraction, the thing I love about being sheltered in place, the biggest positive right now is people are realizing that, hey, I'm no longer limited to just my area around me. There's a whole new world out there. There are people that are learning Zoom, WebEx, all these things that we do to communicate. They're actually forced to learn them now and realize that, hey, I can reach people not just in my neighborhood now. I can reach people all over the world. Why? Because people are digesting content right now. People are looking for interesting things to watch and digest. And so talked about that. What other things are your clients buying? People buy stuff to solve a payment problem. We talked about that. What problems or challenges do your clients have? Now's a good time, excellent time, to meet with your clients, have a conversation about their business, their problems, their challenges, how they would like to expand, because we are going to make it through this, okay? There is coming a day very, very shortly where we're going to be able to get back to business. Now's the time to look at, okay, how can I expand my product offering? How can I expand my portfolio of offerings to the market, to my client, okay? Now, let's talk about how to grow your database right now. There are key things, okay? This is the most powerful tool. This is the most powerful thing that every single one of us have right now. And that is the ability to leverage what I would call your power base, okay? This is, if you read Grant Cardone's book, If You're Not First, You're Last, okay? Highly recommend you go get that book. If you're not first, you're last. He wrote that book right, literally within weeks after the economy collapsing. And I'm telling you right now, the golden nuggets in there are so key and so important. And one of the things he talks about in there is now your power base is more important than it's ever been. Absolutely more important than it's ever been. So what is your power base? Well, you've got your friends, okay? You need to connect with your friends, catch up with them, see if there's anything that you can do to help them, remind them what it is that you do, what your product or service is, and so that they can be aware of who is out there that has a product or service. All your friends, relatives, colleagues, family, they all have social networks, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, okay? Have them promote you out to their network, okay? Have them share things about your business. A lot of you are here right now because I'm like, okay, who's got a big base of clients? Who's got my target? Well, I'm a member of the Lodi Chamber. I'm like, okay, there's 700 members in the Lodi Chamber. Marina and I have been talking about doing a podcast for the last year and a half. Like, you know what? It doesn't cost me anything. I do this already anyways. I specialize in helping businesses. Why don't I do it for free? Called them up, talked to Pat Patrick. They're like, man, that's a great idea. So here we are, Friday. We're doing a live podcast. Reached out to Alan Reeves. He's in Tennessee. I'm like, hey, man, this is what I'm doing for the Lodi Chamber. Why don't I do it for the chambers in your area in Tennessee? He's like, you know what? That's a great idea. Hopped on a phone call. So now on Tuesdays, I'm going to be doing it for that chamber as well, okay? And so be looking at who's got your client in their network, okay? Reach out to your friends, your family, your colleagues. That would be the first part of your power base. The next part of your power base is all your sold clients, okay? All your sold clients. Reach out to them. Make sure you're nurturing them. Make sure that they understand you're open for business. Ask them, who's their clients? Who can they refer you to? Would they be willing, if you sent them an email or a post, would they be willing to post or share your email with their clients, their prospects? Would they be willing to put it out on their social networks? Now, a lot of this sounds extreme, and a lot of you are going, oh my God, I I could never do that. And you're right. If you're committed to average levels of action and what you were doing 2 weeks ago, right? If you want to continue to think that you're going to go into this contraction with the same level of action and you're going to get a different result, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable. I was watching 10X Growth Conference. Grant Cardone was interviewing Kevin Hart, the comedian, and it was a great interview. And one of the things that Kevin Hart talked about is like, you know what? The best thing that I've learned in life is that I suck at a lot of things. And it was like, okay, to expand more on that, he goes, think about this, Grant. And this is Kevin Hart talking. He's like, anytime you do something new, you suck at it. Okay? And it's okay to suck at it, right? We all are going to suck at something the first time we do it. We're going to be terrible at it, right? What I'm talking about doing today I'm sure scares some of you. Some of you are going, man, I don't want to do that. What if they think I'm being pushy? What if they think I'm being a salesperson? What if I don't want to jeopardize harming the relationship? I don't want to be that guy or that gal. Well, you know what? If you're committed to massive levels of action, you're going to have to do some new things. Okay? Your goal is to help them. Okay? The more people you help during this time, whether you get compensated or not directly, I promise you this, the more people you help right now, the better you're going to be coming out of it, number one. Number two, you're going to expand your sphere of influence dramatically. Number two, the business and the money will follow. I promise you that. But if you go into this taking average levels of action, you're not going to reap the benefit and you're going to get punished. Okay? And so sold clients, reach out to them. All your past clients, every past client you've had that you can go back and remember, whether you have it in a database or not, reach out to them. Why do you want to do this right now? Why do you want to go after this with this amount of action? Your competition's not doing it. That's why. A lot of them are retreating. They're not doing any action. They're literally, it's like, oh my God, this is bad. They're retreating, I'm telling you. You got to go after it differently. You're going to be able to capture market share because your competitor ain't doing this. It's true. The competitor ain't doing it, man. They're going to take average levels of action. They're going to retreat. They're not going to take any action. And this is your time to shine. This is your time to grow as a person and your business. Next is your past prospect appointments. Go into your calendar. Look at every single past prospect appointment that you ran over the last 1, 2, 3 years. Okay? Every single appointment you ran over the last 1, 2, 3 years. And Chelsea, my assistant, is still here. Yes, GPC admin. Chelsea, so what I want you to do, and if you have an assistant, do it. I'm going to lead by example here. Chelsea, I want you to go back to my calendar for the last 2, 3 years, okay? And I want you to get me a list in Excel and put it in my database, and I want a list of all those people. And I already gave you this action, so you're already doing it, but I'm telling you, go back and you capture every past appointment that you ever ran, whether they become a client or not, and that's going to give you some new prospects to call. Everybody that told you no in the past, now is a new prospect again. Reach out to them again. Here's a rule of sales for those of you that have never been professionally trained in sales. Most salespeople will quit after the first no. After the first phone call, they won't follow up again. Literally, over 65% will not go beyond the first call. The next 15% will give up before the fourth follow-up. But what's interesting is over 85% of the sales are made between the 5th and 12th follow-up. Absolute fact, absolute statistic, okay? You got to build your database right now. And I've given you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ways to massively build your database. Every single one of you, post your LinkedIn URL here. Connect with everybody on your LinkedIn. You're going to expand your database right now by doing that. Okay? All right. I'm going to go ahead and put your questions in here. I want to take some questions. And so let me get, where's my mouse? There it is. All right, let's go through some questions here. Let's go. Okay, we got Alan Reeves. Okay. Brianna put her website in there. Everybody go to Brianna's website. We can help one another out. Here's another thing. We can help one another out. You know, support one another. Share each other's website out to your network. Okay. Work harder than what I've done. And Marina says I have to work harder than what I've done in the past 5 years because we're all starting over again. I'm a business owner. So Marina, when you're posting, you're still set up to send me a chat privately, and so nobody else can see this. So next time you do something in the chat, just change that. What can you do? Reach out to existing clients. Okay. Anybody got any questions? Let's go through some Q&A here. Do you want me to plug you? So let me actually bring, I'm going to bring on Alan Reeves real quick. I'm going to ask him some specific questions about what we need to be aware of working from home. Alan, you there?
I'm here. Hi, everyone.
Okay. So Alan has been a client of mine for 4.5 years, owns a company called Mouse Calls. They also have an office out here in the West Coast. They specialize in home office worker solutions and the solo entrepreneur. So didn't bring you here to pitch or anything. So we're not going to be doing that. Okay. Just want to ask some questions about what are the things that people need to be concerned about when they're working from home and connecting with people on the internet?
Well, what we're seeing right now, aside from the obvious, is that a lot of people are coming to the realization that their home setup is just not up to par. And we're having a rush of people working from home that are upgrading their internet services, and coming to grips with the fact that there are a lot of government regulations that were already in place before the world got crazy that they're not meeting. You know, a great example of this is last summer, the IRS issued new guidelines for people that handle taxpayer data. And if you're working out of your home, you are compelled by these regulations to have a firewall appliance on your network. You're required to have, you know, an encrypted hard drive. You're required to have patch management on your computer, on your technology. If you're using a mobile device for this purpose and it has taxpayer information on it, even if it's emails back and forth, then that's got to be managed as well. And now you got people.
Okay, so real quick, let me interrupt you real quick. So I'm a home worker, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to get to there's a couple other questions I'm going to get to here as well. I'm a home worker. I'm working from home. I got a laptop. I've got a computer. What are the things that I need to make sure I have set up at home to protect myself?
Number one is common sense. And I'm gonna tell you what I told the chamber last night. You've got to be very, very careful. You do have to have infrastructure. I'll get that, but you have to be careful. And forgive me, I may offend some people with what I'm about to say, but it's the truth. And I can source this if you want. In the past week, the viewing of pornography has increased by over 100% in this country because people are stuck at home. And the bad guys are targeting pornographic sites with malicious advertisements because of that. They're trying to get people to click on certain things. Okay. You need technology that can block that. You need a firewall. Okay. You need security. Firewall. You need, and by security, I don't mean Norton antivirus that you bought at Best Buy. I mean something that is tight, connects to a cloud server, is managed, and creates a ticket that is monitored by a professional entity when there's any sort of malicious traffic detected at all.
Okay. And so don't click on emails. I would imagine don't click on emails from people that you don't know, okay? Don't click on links that you don't know, right? And make sure that you have antivirus on your machine and your laptop and that it's updated. Make sure you're doing the security updates that are needed, right? Okay. And so Alan, why don't you put your, I'm going to go ahead and mute you real quick. Why don't you put your website in here in the chat window? Okay. So if any of you have any questions, okay, about this or about your home setup, reach out to them directly. Okay. If you're in the Lodi chamber and you're on this live call and you do technology as well, put your information in here as well. So the last thing you want, like I did this update on my MacBook yesterday. And I'm having to use a PC again right here, okay? But I did this update on here, and Zoom crashes the computer now. I'm like, ah! You know, and so now I got to figure out how to do it. Well, you know, I don't really want to deal with that right now, but had I done some research or whatever, had I reached out to somebody that's in the know, I probably wouldn't have done the update. Okay. All right. Elisa brings, these are all great talking points, John. Do you have any tips on working from home, how to motivate employees? Great question. And yes, I do. And so one of the things I'm telling people right now is you want to take advantage of the situation. Okay. And that is new ways to manage your team remotely, because a lot of teams are having to work remotely right now. So number one, making sure that they're set up properly to work from home and that they have the technology in place to do so, okay, which a lot of companies have, okay, so a lot of that's probably been solved right now. But what I would recommend is do a success meeting every single morning, okay, have a standing meeting, shouldn't take more than 15 minutes. If you have a large company, you want to break it down into smaller teams, but I would have a success meeting every single morning on Zoom. Take advantage of the technology that we have. You can get a free Zoom account and it will record and broadcast up to 40 minutes, okay? You have to pay a dime for it. The other thing is Zoom right now, if you go to their website, for the next 3 months, you can use a code. I forget what the code is, but they have it up on the website, but you can get Zoom for half price. So I pay like $14.99 a month. You can get it for $7.50 a month. But a great tool. So I'd have a success meeting every morning. And what I mean by that is bring your team together, okay? Talk about the successes that they had yesterday. Go around the room. You're only allowed to talk about your big wins that you had yesterday, okay? That is going to how you're going to keep your team engaged. You're going to eliminate that fear. You're going to get them engaged with the business, okay? You as the leader have to deliver confidence to them right now. That is the most important thing. They need to know that you're the leader. This is the best opportunity that you've had as a leader in a long time. I promise you, because your team's not there, right? They're sheltered in place at home. Well, now you get to expand your leadership capabilities, your leadership role. This is your opportunity to grow as a leader, okay? You have to lead by example, okay? That's why everything I've shared with you today, I'm like, as I was preparing for this call, I'm going, I have to do all of this stuff. Otherwise, you know, I'm not having any integrity, right? Integrity is not just like telling the truth and not lying. Integrity is knowing what your personal potential is and going after it each day and knowing in your heart of hearts that you did what you're supposed to do, okay? They will believe what you believe as the leader, right? So having a daily success meeting, okay? Being in touch with your people, okay? Keep it positive. You could do, like I have one client, is what they're doing is they're doing a morning meeting and they're laying out, okay, what are our goals today? And they go around the room. What are your goals today? What are you looking to get accomplished? What is on your agenda? What is on your plate? What are you looking to get accomplished today? And usually takes about 15 to 20 minutes to do that. And then what they're doing at the end of the day is they're doing their success meeting. They're getting together at the very end of the day and they're saying, okay, what's the big wins today? What did you get accomplished? What did you do? Right? And what that's doing is it's bringing those teams closer together. They're all in it together. They're communicating. They're not feeling like they're out there left alone. And so that's what I would do to make sure that your team is working together. And let me go in here and see what other questions we have. What do you think about a short video for your service product on LinkedIn or other social media sources? Great point. So what I was going to talk about is daily priorities, okay? Daily priorities. So I'm going to go ahead and feel free to unmute yourself in chat. I got to go grab my power cord real quick. Okay. Talk about a rookie mistake. See, we're all not perfect, right? I should have gone, oh my God, my battery's running out. Well, so anyways. All right, so back to what I was talking about. Okay. What I have done and what I've taught many clients, and this is part of just having structure, right, is having certain daily priorities. And if you're a business owner, right, or if you're in sales, then this is how I'm structuring my day, and this is how I am getting clients. Like I've gotten more clients in the last week and a half than I have in the last month, right? And a lot, I will contribute it directly to the activity level. And so current clients, number one priority. When you get up in the morning, you're laying out your day and you've gone through your morning routine and you're ready to rock and roll, current clients. Do I have any current client appointments? I need to run them. I need to show up to them. I need to send out emails. I need to contact my current clients. I need to time block that out in my calendar, okay? Next is prospect appointments. What prospect appointments do I have on the calendar today? And I need to run those prospect appointments, okay? Next is create content. Now is the best time to create content, okay? The absolute best time to create content. Let me give you some structure for content, okay? Write this down on here. Think about it this way. When you're creating content, when you're posting any content right now, okay, think about it this way. Think about it. Let me go to, where is it? Okay. Okay, number one is you need to address the worry or concern, okay, that your client has, okay? You need to address the worry or the concern that your client has. If you need help with this, what I would do is go to your existing clients and ask them, what are the biggest worries or concerns that you have? What are the biggest challenges that you have, okay? And survey them. Next, once you've identified the worry and concern, is you want to provide some useful information, okay? How can they solve that worry or concern, okay? Give it away for free, right? Now's the time to get your content creation on steroids, right? You're stuck at home. You got nothing else to do. It does not have to be perfect, okay? It really does not, okay? But you want to provide some useful information. Next is give them a call to action. What is the call to action? Have them go to your website. Have them contact you. Have them set an appointment with you, okay? What is the call to action? So if you want some really, really sick ideas on content and you really want to take your content to the next level, I would go to Google and type in Gary Vaynerchuk challenge. Okay, see if I can do this on my own machine here. Well, this is not. The Gary Vaynerchuk challenge. So Gary Vayner, V-A-Y-N-E-R, Chuck challenge. And let's see here. I'm going to share my screen. I'll show you exactly what it is. I'm going to copy and paste this URL in the chat window. Okay. Okay. So it looks like this. Okay. This guy is one of the top content creators on the planet. He put out a 270-page slide deck back in December. And he put it out there, and all you got to do is follow it step by step. And you'll create a tremendous amount of content.
But John, I have a question for you. This is Pat. Hypothetically, let's say the current quarantine edict that we're under now is going to last for 60 more days. What advice would you give us for situations as we have today if they last another 60 days? Anything change? Anything stay the same? Or what should we be looking?
Okay, so everything that we've been talking about today is exactly what we need to continue to do, right? So create a bunch of content, number one. Number two is talk to your existing clients. Number three, networking with others, going out and doing, taking advantage of what I see people doing now is they're doing networking parties on Zoom. They're promoting other people's businesses. So it's all the stuff that we've talked about today. It's continuing to press in and do a massive amount of action going forward, and you can't stop. If you have a business that's a restaurant, it's a whole different deal. Like I know a guy that he's a bartender. He can't go to the bar right now. So what he's decided to do is every single day he's going live on his social networks and he's doing a cocktail a day. He's teaching people how to create a cocktail at home. So he's found a way to take advantage of the situation and expand his experience because he understands he's going to get through this and we are going to get back to work. But can you imagine his opportunity coming out of this, where now he has a massive amount of content that he's created on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn and all that stuff? Can you imagine the attention he's going to get? So that's why I put in here in the chat window is go and download Gary Vaynerchuk's playbook. Okay. Take advantage of this opportunity to create a massive amount of content for your business. Next is if you have a team and they don't have any experience in sales, now's the time to expand into that space and get professionally trained in sales. So Pat, I don't know if it would be valuable. I'm pretty sure it would be, is we're doing this call on Fridays, but I can easily do another call during the week and do professional sales training for people, okay? We can record that. We can have sales training modules. I've trained thousands and thousands of salespeople, and the hardest thing going for most business owners right now is they haven't had to proactively sell, right? But now they're having to, and they need strategies in order to do that. And so if you've never been professionally trained in sales, now's the time to get trained. Okay. We're right at 9:30. Any other questions? Pat, did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. So any other comments or questions, Pat? Anything else that you'd like to share?
No, I think we probably ought to bring it to a close. I'll have some more next time. I promise.
All right. So again, everybody, if you haven't put your LinkedIn or website in the URL, please do so. If you want to connect with me at all for any reason, any way I can help you out or whatever, just go to johnpyron.com. I put it in the chat window, and there's a button there called Book Appointment. Feel free to schedule a time and we'll chat. So whatever I can do to help you out, that's what I'm here for. We did send out a survey. And so if you can respond to that survey with you know, we're looking for topics that are important to you. So that way next Friday and each Friday, you know, that's going on is we're doing content that is important to you. So it'd be very helpful if you could fill out that survey for us. So other than that, have a wonderful weekend. So I will send this out to everybody, and you'll get a copy of the recording as well. So go out and make it happen. We'll talk to you guys later. Take care.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.